and we're gonna try a dish that is very, very important for the south of Vietnam. It's called Bun Mam, and it's a classic mix between seafood and pork in a soup. Let's give it a shot. All right, guys, so here I am. This is Bun Mam, and as you can see, it's a noodle soup in a broth, and it has both seafood and pork. And since their pork here looks so wonderfully delicious, I asked them to give us a little plate of just the pork by itself, because this crispy pork is so delicious. I mean, you can find it all over Southeast Asia and also in China, that style of crispy pork, and it's one of my favorite things on earth. And depending on where you are in Vietnam, sometimes well, in South Vietnam, because this is a South Vietnam dish only, sometimes you get some pineapple in there because it's a very sweet broth usually. And when people think of Vietnam, they usually think of the beef soup, the pho, and this is very much from the north. You can find it everywhere in Saigon. It's available on every street corner. However, when you go to South Vietnam, you need to try this one. This is the regional dish that you can find everywhere. Let's try it. Always try the broth first. The whole thing is the broth, isn't it? It's sweet. It's full of seafood. And I taste some tamarind in there. And it's very complex, very deep, very rich. And then if you go through the whole dish, well, you have some bitter gourd here. A cooked bitter gourd, which is both crunchy and juicy. Then you have this beautiful piece of shrimp. They make a beautiful display outside, beautiful display case to show off that shrimp. It's so very important. You can see it has the tail, but it doesn't have the head. And then you move on to a big, thick piece of squid. And you can see that they have scored the squid to make it more tender. And then I can't tell you enough about that pork. I mean, just look at it. Just look at it. It's streaky. It has what the Chinese call the 5 layers of paradise. You have the top skin that is completely crunchy. Then you have a layer of fat. Then you have a layer of meat, another layer of fat, and then a final layer of meat. And this is one of the most beautiful things on earth. Yeah, let's see. Good. Oh my God. And then when you're in Vietnam, you always have these beautiful plates of herbs that are served. Usually they're fresh. These have been just quickly blanched in the broth. And you can pick through them, you can add them to your broth, and at the end of the day, it's a little bit like pho. What you end up doing is basically add a second soup out of your bowl. You finish this bowl of food, and it's wonderful and delicious. And then you have some broth left at the bottom. And you keep adding more herbs. And you have 2 bowls of soup for the price of 1. Isn't that what makes Southeast Asia the most perfect place on earth? You always get more and more and more.
If you like this video, like and subscribe.